Welcome to Business Talk with me, Michael Avery, where we take you on a journey into the world of business, brands, and occasionally the art of living exceptionally well. Now, when you think of retirement, be honest, you might think shuffleboards, a few too many early morning golf rounds, and a dog-eared copy of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People gathering dust on the coffee table. But what if I told you that retirement could look more like a five-star resort with world-class security, with wellness amenities that make personal trainers probably weep with joy, and a lifestyle that screams, I've made it, even if it's your second act? Well, enter Val de Vie Evergreen. It's the absolute Rolls Royce of retirement living. And who better to give us the grand tour than someone who knows a thing or two about winning? My guest today is Ryk Neethling, Olympic gold medalist, entrepreneur, and the marketing and brand director of the Val de Vie group of companies. So, Ryk, I must say, it's a great pleasure having you on at this time where we in Johannesburg are experiencing some of the worst weather. Down there in Paarl, I believe it's just blazing hot and beautiful. Hope you're well.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. It's great to be on, and I must say the whole of the Cape is really showing off. I had a very interesting tour today of some of the most incredible properties on the Atlantic seaboard, and Cape Town was really showing off today, and it was just so great to see it buzzing. The cruise liners all there in the port, and here in the winelands, it's absolutely stunning. So it's great to be on the show.
I was chatting to the head of Hyprop recently, and he said he just can't believe the economic activity in the Western Cape, where certain contractors just couldn't take on work because they didn't have the capacity. Just shows you what happens when you combine all of those natural, attributes with good governance as well. But I don't want to go into that particular rabbit hole. Val de Vie has been named the best retirement village in the world. That's not me. That's independent. It's quite a flex. What sets it apart from every other retirement option and village out there?
Yeah, Michael, I think we launched Val de Vie Evergreen. I think it was in 2018, and by that stage, Val de Vie Estate was already quite established. We had already also won a few international property awards. It was the safest estate in the world. So when we launched it, we decided to put our retirement, which was one of the last developments within the estate, right in the heart of the estate. And I think that was quite a different tactic. Usually a retirement village, unfortunately, they put it somewhere in the corner, high density, not very desirable area. But we put it right in the heart, and I think that encourages the people that retire here to become part of the the larger community. I think the one thing about Val de Vie, besides the natural beauty and all the facilities, but it's very community driven, and I think in retirement that is we know that is also one of the things that's most important for longevity. And so this estate not only can use all the facilities, but it also brought a lot of new facilities to the estate, and I think it's also been a great benefit. And that we call it the multi-generational living has added a lot of value to the estate.
That community is so important. My own mom experienced that a few years after my dad passed away, and finding new friendships, new companionships that were completely unexpected. You actually can't put a price on that, to be honest. But when it comes to the amenities, what are we talking about here? I'm assuming it goes more than just a clubhouse and a lawn bowling green. I mean, what are you talking when you talk about amenities?
Look, it's a very long list, and we can talk about the facilities for an hour. I think from an estate point of view, our philosophy is to offer as much as possible. I think it's one of those few times where the term jack of all trades and master of none actually does not apply here. we we've obviously got a golf course. We've got multiple swimming pools. It's 1,000-hectare estate with very high security on the perimeter and on the inside. So you've really, your whole backyard is 1,000 hectares. Equestrian facilities. We've got gyms. We've got a few restaurants. We've got our own wine cellar. We've got 2 delis. On the medical side, we've got a pharmacy. We've got, I lost count how many doctors and GPs and dentists and chiropractors and physiotherapists. It's a small town. I think our philosophy is also that we want to get the best people, independent, contractors to come and open their businesses here. So it's a great platform, and we try to get the best trainers, like the best medical facilities. The wine cellars independently, run. It's not all managed by the HOA, and that also keeps your levies quite low. So we feel that what you get is actually quite affordable. And then obviously within Evergreen, they've got their own bowling green, cafeteria, the library, the cinemas, all those things. So there really is, the list is endless, really. And obviously paddle courts and tennis courts and squash courts and all those things. So it's a very active lifestyle. There's lots of clubs, hiking clubs. I must say the Evergreen walking and hiking club, it causes a bit of, traffic in the morning because it's a huge group and you have to slow down between them and the horses. But it's very active. And I can honestly say the people in Evergreen, their social calendars are very, very full. We've got just under 600 residents that live now within Evergreen. And there's, I saw the stats this morning, there's over 100 single people, and they integrate wonderfully into the community and really find another life almost, and I think there's this perception about the Cape, about it being cliquey, but the other thing about Val de Vie, the strong community, most of us come from other places, from all over the world. So we find our community here, and so far it's been working great for the residents of Val de Vie Evergreen.
Wow. And I mean, if you don't like that, then you've just got, look around you in that part of the world. You've got Stellenbosch, you've got Franschhoek, Banghoek, you've got all of this just literally on your doorstep as well. Now, you've just announced a new phase, Val de Vie Evergreen Silverleaf. What's special about this edition, and how does it enhance the estate's existing offering overall?
Yeah, I think we just like an athlete, we try to improve, every season. So this is a new phase, and we've taken in all the feedback from from the current residents, and I think we've upgraded our home plans. I think we've expanded it. There's some incredible properties that's on our Fynbos Reserve. We've got just under 40-hectare Fynbos Reserve that will stay a protected area. And there's some beautiful homes that that border this with beautiful views of the mountains. So I think that's something that we're very excited about. We've sold what I think is the highest value of any life right in South Africa. I think it's a 17 million rand house there. So we attracting the right residents, and it shows the kind of confidence in in the development. So we're very excited about it. The sales are going well, and it's also interesting, the international people that want to come and retire here. We are bombarded by lots of negative news about South Africa, but I think the people in the know what a great lifestyle this is, and the value that that we can offer.
It's so interesting you mentioned that. I was chatting to Bob Head, who's British citizen, but he was on the board of Old Mutual for some time. Also, Alex Forbes, and he was saying to Mike, with what my mom is retiring with in the UK, it's going to be very difficult to get her to 85, 90 with what she's retiring with. But if she goes and retires in South Africa, she could retire at Val de Vie and she could live this kind of lifestyle and we wouldn't have any issue with it. So I think increasingly there's a big opportunity. Yes, some might say it's a long haul, but because of this community, because of that value, that it's a very high growth area that South Africa, has a good story to tell as well. Now, obviously, with that comes countering the negative perceptions around South Africa being unsafe. And I know safety is a major factor for retirees. You've got a reputation as South Africa's safest retirement village. What exactly goes into making that happen? Is it high walls, biometrics, or is it just a combination of everyone doing their jobs very professionally?
Yeah, I think there's a few layers to it. I think we try to think that our Val de Vie Foundation is actually our one of the most important aspects in that, and that means that we established the Val de Vie Foundation in 2015. Up to date, more than 40 million rand have been given to organizations here in our beautiful valley, and our philosophy is just that we can't live in this beautiful place and then you go right outside the gates and people are miserable. So to make sure that the whole community thrives, and then really we focus on technology. We pride ourselves in being leaders in new technology, and that's anything from drone flights. We were the first estate to have the cameras, infrared, and we've got armed guards on the outside. We do daily stress tests to make sure that our guards at the gates can respond quickly. We've got CCTV cameras, throughout the estate in the open areas. So there's quite a few more that we can't all disclose, but I can safely say that we are definitely the safest estate in Africa.
All pun intended there, I'm sure. Now,
Yeah.
um, it's very interesting to hear about that holistic approach because I think often estates have been critiqued in South Africa as being these oases or islands of prosperity surrounded by seas of poverty. And I think one has to engage with these issues holistically. You can't be blind to the threat. So you have to have the high walls and the security and the tech and all of those things. But you've also got to be saying, well, how do we give back to the community? And that's really impressive, right? That 40 million has already been raised and dispensed within the broader Valley community. Now, I know another big project for you is the Val de Vie Evergreen Lifestyle Center. What's the vision behind this, and how does this elevate the wellness and the social experience that you've already articulated for residents?
Michael, I think it's maybe one of the boldest projects that I've been a part of. When you walk into that clubhouse, it is incredible. It's almost a little bit intimidating because we have to go and make it work, and we have to make it a functioning facility. But it's over 1,500 square meters. There'll be a pub, there'll be a deli, be a restaurant in there, and then I think there's 12 meeting rooms that people can play bridge, activity rooms. There's 2 cinemas, a gym, and that is just the first phase. We've got a second phase, planned as well. So it is going to be a great hub for not just for Evergreen residents, but for the whole estate. We've got about 6,000 residents now on the estate, and when you have AGMs and SGMs, it's a bit difficult to fit everybody into our current ballroom. So it's a great facility for that as well, to do concerts, festivals. So we are very excited. We hope to open it in the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter of this year. And I haven't seen a retirement village with a facility like that anywhere in the world. We've done lots of tours all over the world looking at what is the best, and this is really going to be it's going to set us apart.
Well, I was certainly surprised by the level of social activity when I visited my mom when she first moved into her retirement village, and it made me feel positively old in my midlife, getting to bed at 9 o'clock when they were going well into the wee hours. And but when you look at it though, how do you balance? And you say it's like an athlete, and every season you've got to train, you've got to add maybe another string to your bow. You're doing these new phases. How do you balance that with the need to also keep that special green integrity of the estate to ensure that you don't overdevelop and you really do, keep what is so special about Val de Vie at its core?
I think one of the big things is that of the management team and the development company directors, we all have 3 generations that live here on the estate. So, I mean, I don't have kids myself, but my parents live here. My sister lives here. My niece lives here, and so we all live here. So we'll never develop something that we don't enjoy or that will be detrimental to our lifestyle as well. So people can be assured that we'll keep that integrity. And then I think the difference between the development company and the management company, that's a healthy relationship, and we interrogate the ideas, and I think we try to evolve in a healthy way. But there's times where we don't do developments. There's quite a few areas on the estate that have development rights that we won't develop because it won't add positively to the overall lifestyle. So I think we've got that balance right. I think a third of the whole estate, so just over 300 hectares, will always stay green, open areas. We've got a few farms. Our gentleman's estates add a lot to that feeling of space. Obviously, the polo fields, one polo field is the size of 9 soccer fields. So you'll never lose that sense of space here at Val de Vie.
For someone who's listening right now, and I'm listening, thinking, I mean, when do I retire? How do I get access to this? How do I get in? I mean, what are the most accessible ways to retire at Val de Vie? I know that the Evergreen is very pioneering in developing the Life Right model in South Africa, which does actually make it a lot more accessible than many might imagine. What are the ways that one could look to acquire a foothold in Val de Vie Evergreen?
Michael, it's actually quite interesting. We've seen incredible growth in the prices. Now, if you're a homeowner or an investor, that makes you happy that the prices are increasing, but it's become, unfortunately, quite expensive for a lot of people. But Val de Vie Evergreen is definitely the most affordable option on the estate. Our entry level for 1-bedroom apartment, we've got a campaign now that you can rent a 1-bedroom apartment for 16,000 Rand a month. That includes all your levies, rental. So that is by far the best way to live on the estate. The Silver Leaf homes now start from 7.6 million Rand for a 2-bedroom house. That's so we've got 1-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom homes. So if people are interested, they can go to our website, valdevieevergreen.co.za. But it's if you want to be on Val de Vie and you're over 65, that's the best way to do it.
Well, I think, Ryk, I'm going to be chatting to my mom. I need to put the two of you in touch. It's one of my favorite pieces of paradise in the world, not just in South Africa. And I've traveled quite extensively. It really is a very special valley. And I think what Val de Vie does just stands head and shoulders above any other lifestyle retirement estate that we have in South Africa. It's been great chatting to you. And I suspect I might not be the last to express those thoughts on Val de Vie. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Michael.